Father, we come once again saying thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord, for another time, another moment in your word. But Father, you know all of our struggles, all of our faults, all of our downturns, Father. We ask you right now, Lord, that you forgive us of all those things. But Father, we ask you right now, teach us to please your people as you have given unto us. And remove me from self that you might abide alone. That your word would stand and stand on its own, for it is good and it's pure. So, Father, I ask you right now, Lord, touch each and every heart that hears, that they may see what they need when you need them to see, hear what you need them to hear, learn what you have them to learn, and be what you have them to be. In the name of Jesus, we pray to say, Amen, Amen, and Amen. If you would turn with me to Matthew 9, it's a familiar scripture. We've all dealt with it before. But I think sometimes it is better for us to rehear a thing and understand it in a new way once we've matured in a new way. And once hearing that new thing, or that same thing in a new way, we understand differently. There were some things I taught my children when they were younger, and they never got it. But as they had gotten older, they learned. Just recently, Jessica came to me and she said to me, Daddy, I want this thing. I'm not going to say what it was, but I want this thing. And I said to her, you earned half the money. You saved half the money, and I'll put the other half to it. And then she changed her mind about what she wanted. And then she started crying over it because she didn't realize how she would get it done. And I had to remind her of the time frame in which she gave herself. And I also reminded her that if it's something you want, you will do what's necessary for it. If I tried to teach her that lesson around something I wanted her to have, she would never get it. But because it's something she wants, she's getting it. So what she did was, she decided, she came to me later on, she says, do you have a box? What do you need a box for? Because I'm going to put this money up, and I want to write on the box what it's for.
Right.
So that way I know, don't touch this.
Right.
Then she came back and said, I'm trying to set a reminder on my phone, and I can't do it. I said, what do you need a reminder for? I want it every day to remind me what I'm saving for. When the lesson comes, when the time is right, we learn. And when we learn, we make the steps necessary to go.
Yeah.
And I tried to teach her that in my time frame, she never got it. But because it's something she wanted, she learned. And that's something that I was praising God for. But as we go through Matthew 9, verse 1, and God just spoke to me, and it's something we've heard before. And he said, he entered into a ship and passed over and came into his own city, talking about Jesus. And behold, they brought him a sick man of the palsy, lying on a bed. Jesus, seeing their faith, said unto the sick of the palsy, Son, be of good cheer. Thy sins be forgiven thee. And behold, a certain of the scribes said within themselves, This man blasphemed. And said, Jesus, knowing their thoughts, said, Wherefore think ye evil in your hearts? For rather is easier to say, Thy sins be forgiven thee, or to say, Arise and walk. But that you may know that the Son of Man hath power on earth to forgive sins, I saith to thee, sick of the palsy, Arise, take up thy bed, and go to unto thine house. And he arose and departed to his house. But when the multitude saw it, they marveled and glorified God, which had given such power unto men. I'm going to stop right there for a topic or thought. Get up. It's time to get up. They got the blessing to the readers, hearers, and doers of his word. If just for a moment, if you would just take the time and see this, this is not the first time Jesus told somebody to get up. If you remember by the pool of Bethesda, there was a man who was sick as well, and Jesus tells him, after asking him, do you want to be made whole? The man gives excuses and never answers Jesus' question. In this chapter, Matthew 9, we find friends who bring this man to Jesus. And in their bringing him to Jesus, it is more interesting that people would be more worried about him forgiving sins and miss the miracle of him getting up. How about this? For a point, if you allow me, there's one point here. We can see a problem and never fix it. See, their friends saw Jesus as an opportunity. His friends saw Jesus as an opportunity to fix a problem in this man, while others were worried about his sins being forgiven. They were looking at his physical ailment and were okay with Jesus doing the work to fix the physical portion, but not worried enough to fix his soul. See, they understood the problem of the soul because they had to do sacrifice. Do you understand the word sacrifice literally means to give up something? The word sacrifice means that you have to lose something to get something. Yeah. So I'm reminded that Fantasia has a song that says, sometimes you have to lose to win again. See, in this particular story, we see Jesus first looking at the problem that is the real issue, and then working on the solution to what people see. Jesus tells the man to get up, and they're not concerned with him getting up, him walking, him being healed, him now being a committed member of the community that can help provide and support, him no longer being someone who was begging from everybody else. They are all worried about Jesus forgiving sins. But the question is, could the man be healed if his sins were not forgiven first? Jesus sees the problem, and you would think, oh, well, why is this man, or Jesus automatically forgiving his sins and then healing the man? But here, I find a point that I like to make, that we can excuse ourselves of our mess if we are able to not see where we are. Compared to the men of the school of Bethesda, and where Jesus is now, the one man is making excuses for where he is to stay comfortable in his mess. The other man has not made any excuses, and yet his friends don't allow him to make any for himself. Sometimes folks get so sick of your mess that they no longer accept what you're willing to. I don't know about you, but have you ever gotten sick of people complaining about the same thing, and yet there's nothing done in that area? Yeah. I often joke that my job has become a little bit like church sometimes. We meet about meetings of meetings and never get anything done that accomplishes that meeting. And then as soon as people come in to accomplish what we've been talking about, we get upset. Okay. When people no longer start accepting the excuses that we made of why something can't get done, and they start moving in the area in which it can get done, we get upset at them because they no longer accept the excuses. See, our excuses make us comfortable in our own mess because it's easier to stay in an excuse than it is to fix the problem. See, Jesus is sitting there and he's saying that it is easier to me to forgive your sins or to say get up. Which one is easier? See, they didn't even have to tell him what they saw. Sometimes you ever say something and just by the look of people's faces, you know what they're already thinking. I often tell people, there's some people who should never play poker. Poker is a game of deception when you're playing cards. You can't let the other person know what's in your hand. And even if you have a losing hand, sometimes you're trying to trick them to believe you have more than what you actually have. We play that game in life a lot, but sometimes we want people to see and believe more than what there actually is, and then we get mad when people actually look behind the curtain.
Go ahead.
So Jesus says he's looking at them while he's talking to this man, and he's forgiving his sins. He sees them, and he sees their faces, and he can tell in their hearts what they were saying. And he says, what's easier? For me to forgive his sins or for me to tell him to get up? Because you're so worried about his sins and you've missed the point. I've already told him to get up. So you're okay with the miracle, but you're not okay with what it takes to get to the miracle. See, there's a pathway, which I look every time Jesus does something, there's a pathway to the miracle. And it never ends it never begins the miracle, it ends at the miracle, but there's something to get to the miracle. Look at the woman who was marching her son to the burial ground. And Jesus, passing by the funeral, touches the son because he sees the mother's broken heart. And he awakes the son so that the mother won't lose everything. But she had to go through his death first. She had to go through him dying, him being sick, in order for him to be healed. See, she had to go through this portion to get to the miracle. See, if she never actually planned the funeral, she would have never received the miracle. Look at the man who was brought to Jesus, and he's inside the city, and Jesus was getting ready to heal him. He said, no, you know what? Come outside the city. I need you to come out of where you are so that I can actually heal you. And then when he touches him the first time, the man's not healed all the way. But he touches him again, and the man can see correctly. Look at what it took. He had to come out of the city. He had to move from where he was to where he could be without any distractions so that Jesus could begin to clear his vision. Oh, man. See, it is not where you start, but where you end up. But there is a journey to that point. And if you were too busy staying where you are, you'll never get to the miracle. See, maybe I y'all catch that still wrong. How about this? Defeating the 5,000, it was a little boy's lunch. See, if the mother didn't pack the lunch for the little boy to go follow Jesus, the crowd couldn't be fed. You missed it. It was the mother's taking care of her child. It had nothing to do with the crowd. But it was in the miracle of the mother's provision that God provided for all. See, not only did those who were there get fed, but people who didn't even show up got fed. Because it said there was 12 baskets left over. And they began to take them to people who were not even there. From a lunch to a banquet to everybody getting fed. There's a journey in the process.
Yes, it was.
Oh, Lord, thank you. See, in every season, God makes a plan. And he has purpose and provision. But you got to be in the right season to receive. But not only in the right season, you got to be in the right place. Look at the woman with the issue of blood. Jesus was not even on his way to heal her. He was walking by to Jairus' house. And she showed up. She, having spent everything she had, all that she could give,
Oh.
and still not healed, took one more chance at Jesus. Because she heard he was walking by. But let me show you what could have happened. She was considered unclean and was not supposed to be in the crowd. She was not supposed to be touching anyone else. And because she decided to break the law, she went after her miracle. Because she said, if I'm going to die anyway, I might as well take the chance and go out of here on my own terms. Get up. Sometimes it is the fact that we as a people, black people, I'm sorry to say it, we have not awakened to the problems that come in our own community, and we want to blame everybody else first. But in the season of change, we can change or we can stay the same. I'm going to leave that there. You keep walking that later on. See, in a season, God plans change, but if you are not in place, even if you are not the intended, God sometimes let crumbs fall off.
Yes, he does, Lord.
See, you do remember that the woman came to be healed by Jesus, and Jesus said, what should I give the food of the children, the children's food to the dogs? He called the woman a dog. And she said, well, hey, even the dogs eat the crumbs off their master's table. You can call me what you like, but heal me anyway. I don't care what you call me, just as long as I get what I need. See, sometimes in that season, we got to do and be in some uncomfortable places, but are you willing to stay in the season while it's uncomfortable? See, these friends brought their friend to be healed by Jesus. And something that kind of bothered me for a second. It was his friends who brought him, but it was him who had to get up. See, his friends could take him to the miracle, but he had to stand on his own. People can help you, but if you are not willing to help yourself, it doesn't make a difference who brings you or who you go to. One thing I've learned in this season of my life is that while I am looking for help in different areas, God says you have to first be willing to help yourself. See, a while ago I lost a bunch of weight, and it was harder than it is now to lose it. But for some reason, I was more committed then than now. And so God says to me simply, I've given you all the information, all the knowledge. I've sent people who can help you, but what are you going to do for you? See, it is not enough for others to have information, or even for you to have the information for yourself, but are you willing to get up on your own? Mike and I was back there, and when we were back in San, Mike says to me, Miracle comes in the room, and she taps him, and he says, you all right? She shakes her head, yeah. And she walks back out the room. Mike says to me, that's my alarm clock. Every Saturday morning, she comes in the room, she says, Papa, I'm up. What she began to do is say, hey, look, I don't know what your status is, but my status is awake. So unless you want me to be awake alone, you better get up. See, children have a way of reminding us that I can be alone or I can be in your presence. You choose. Because if I get up alone, the house is mine. And if the house is mine, I'm going to do what I like. I'm reminded as a child, we were over at Sister Betty's house, Priscilla and I and the family were sitting there, and Marlon and Jesse upstairs. It was okay for Marlon to be upstairs. Marlon would sit on the floor, watch TV, he was cool. Jesse was a different type of child. So this particular incident, I have a picture, just in case you think I'm lying, I got a picture. Jessie decides she's going to go upstairs and she's going to play in Mom's makeup. But Mom had a permanent magic marker, and Jessie saw that as makeup. Jessie was alone, and when she came downstairs, she had lipstick around her lips and permanent magic marker on her cheeks, eyebrows, and everywhere else. I took the picture because I thought it was funny, but here lies the thing I learned from that. When I'm quiet, you gotta be checking on me. Because if I'm quiet, there might be a reason why I'm quiet. And if you're not checking on me, you might need to understand I'm gonna get into some stuff. We should have learned when Marlon was younger. We should have learned. As parents, we should have learned that already with Marlon. Because when we were sitting there on the couch enjoying TV and he was supposed to be in bed, going to sleep, I hear the water in the bathroom running. So I peek around the corner and it's Marlon washing his hands. Marlon's always been a kid like to play in the water, wash his hands. That's not a big deal. But then I would hear him back into the room, back into the bathroom. That's not normal. Back in the room, back in the bathroom. I don't care how much kids like playing in the water, he don't like washing his hands that much. So when I heard him go back in the room, and he went back into the bathroom, I snuck into the room to see what was going on. I'm looking around, I don't see anything wrong. Some said, touch the bed. Okay, I touched the bed and I had a handful of baby oil. Marlon decided he was going to oil himself and dump baby oil not only just on him, but also on the bed. Once again, when the child is quiet, we should have been checking. Sometimes you need to learn to get up. It is in those moments God teaches us how to be parents. And the one thing I learned about being a parent is that you got to be on your toes. Because if you're not on your toes, your kids will sure enough take advantage of you. See, what I learned about being a parent is that you must be up and on time. Because if you're not, they will be. And then guess what? They will teach you why you need to be up with them. And this is my last point. I'm going to take my seat. I want you to see what Jesus tells the man at the end. He heals the man. He touches him. Then he talks to those in the crowd who got worried about the man's sins being forgiven. And even after the man got up, Jesus tells him, go home. That's strange. I just get up, the first place you want me to go home. I've probably been laying there all day long, Jesus. Why do I got to go back home? I want you to go home because you'll get too worried about what people are saying instead of what I just did. See, when Jesus wakes you up, sometimes it is not for you to go be around everybody else. But what he does is separate you. The Bible said that we are called those who are separated, the called out ones, the set apart. You notice God got a bunch of names for the church that means not with them? Why? Why would you not want me to be with the people I was just with? Because even though your friends want you, I don't want you doing the same thing as your friends are doing. All right. Watch it. Look at what he says. Go home. But if I go home, Jesus, then why am I doing this? Because if you are dealing with other people's thoughts, you'll miss a miracle in the first place. The miracle was not you being healed. The miracle was your sins being forgiven. Amen. See, when Jesus began to hear and see the thoughts of those in the crowd, he began to say, go home to him so he can address them. They would be so worried about his sins and not his miracle. And they would then deter him from seeing what God had already done for him. Sometimes God calls us to be set apart so that he can work on us. He can deal with us. And he can manage where we are. How do we know this? Look at Jonah in the belly of the whale. God has him swallowed in the belly of a whale, then dropped off at Joppa, where he was supposed to go anyway. And then, even after doing what God wants, Jonah is sitting under a tree. Mad at what God had already done for him or for the other people, mad at them, and mad at God. He's sitting there by himself, but that's when God was able to speak to him. See, then on the ship, Jonah knew it was wrong, but God wasn't speaking yet. When the whale, Jonah knew where he was going, but God wasn't speaking yet. Even after he did what God wanted to do, God wasn't speaking yet. It was at the point of him sitting under a tree mad that God began to speak to him. Sometimes God will have you do everything you should do, need to do, could do, and you'll still not hear from God the way you want to until he separates you. But when he separates you, he does something very interesting in us. He begins to show us. Not everybody else, us. He began to talk to Jonah and say, "You're mad about people getting saved? Are you kidding me? You're mad about me saving somebody else? I saved you. I kept Israel. Why can't I keep others too?" Sometimes God needs to separate us to talk to us so he can tell us it's time to get out. God bless you. God bless you.
This has been Hawkins Audio Production 2020.